The two clips you've just read were taken from a film that I'll be putting a link to and in the description. Strongly recommend you watch it. It's very revealing. It was done but in the 1960s, but when somebody's obviously taken the audio and put the video together, and when you listen to it, you can see it explains, bearing in mind it was done in the 60s, it explains everything that's going on. Well recommended. Excuse me. The film is called We've All Been Fooled. 50-year-old recording proves everything, and the rest, blah blah blah. So I strongly recommend you watch that film. France fuel protests, 1 dead in yellow vest blockades. A protest has died after there are reports of injuries elsewhere as demonstrators angry at rising fuel prices disrupt traffic across France. See, they stand up. We need to stand up. The female protester was struck after a driver panicked and drove towards demonstrators, report says. No. That sounds like deliberate murder. Some 120,000 yellow vests, so called after the high visibility jackets they are required to carry in their cars, have gathered in 2,000 locations. They accuse President Emmanuel Macron of abandoning the little people. Wow, same shit, different country. The United Nations wants a one world government in less than 12 years. November 5th, 2018, American thinker. In the 1960s, an informed but naive undergraduate, I was walking across the campus of the University in Pennsylvania with the chairman of chemistry department, Professor Charles C. Price. He told me that he was president of the United World Federalists and asked if I knew what that organisation was. When I said that I did not, he replied that they believe in a one world government that would grow out of the United Nations. I was nonplussed, as I had never heard anyone suggest that idea before. To me, the United Nations was a benevolent organisation dedicated to pressuring the world community in the direction of peace and to obliterate charitable programs to help the struggling impoverished peoples of the world. I imagine the UN as a kind of united way on a worldwide scale. Well, he wasn't very informed then, was he? But as I've been saying for a while, they're pushing this one world government bullshit. Of course, recently, Amber Rudd. Universal credit system has transformed lives. Well, if you mean by killed a lot of people, yeah. And he's like to kill more, yeah. If you call that transforming lives, yeah, you're right, correct. Amber Rudd has insisted the government's much criticised universal credit system has transformed lives as she returned to the cabinet months after being forced to step down as Home Secretary over the Windrush scandal. Ms Rudd made a dramatic return to the cabinet on Friday following a chaotic week in Theresa May's government. Ms Rudd has been appointed as Work and Pension Secretary as Mrs May seeks to bolster her position following backlash to her Brexit deal. New role will see Mrs Rudd replace Esther McVeigh. Dynamic criticised the appointment of Ms Rudd back to a cabinet post so soon after the Windrush scandal. But you see, if you're one of them, you can come back no problem. UK MPs pleading ignorance to horrors of austerity, says UN rapporteur. The United Nations rapporteur visiting the UK to assess the state of extreme poverty and human rights in the country has concluded that ministers are pleading ignorance to the crisis point reached thanks to austerity, saying that many of the policies which greatly and negatively affect the poorest people in the UK could be changed overnight for little cost and effort. But we're run by an evil government. Tory MP Jacob Rees-Mogg named in Paradise Papers scandal. After he pocketed more than £500,000 while working for an offshore investment firm. The North Somerset MP was recently slammed for saying the increase in people using food banks was rather uplifting. This is the sort of satanic bastards that we have in Parliament. Tory Jacob Rees-Mogg pocketed $680,000 payment while working for offshore firms. See, they're all corrupt, all of them. And this is why. Goldman Sachs tells London staff will pay for sex change surgery and IVF because they are behind this transgender bullshit. The banks, that is, not just Goldman Sachs, although they pretty much run everything. Fury of the expats whose pensions frozen in time. Some are paid thousands less because of where they live. People who moved abroad in retirement are being paid a lower state pension. Those affected plan to fight the inequality of challenging an unfair law. MPs supporting the revolt say it has been allowed to continue for too long. It's just more robbery from a corrupt government. My bill trebled. Householder with solar panels faces smart meter billing disaster. Solar panel owners are discovering that their energy bills rise when they have a smart meter installed. Almost 1 million homes are equipped with solar panels which give owners free energy when it is sunny and payments for any excess. More corrupt. If you've got a smart meter, you need your head examining. They kill you. They've got enough ways to trying to kill us at the moment. Don't help them. Why is children in need sitting on a 90 million fortune? Charity stashes some away in investment portfolio instead of handing it out. Charity also has 2.2 million in its accounts from 900,000 last year. Spokesman said money being temporarily held and would be given away. Bullshit. In 2008, BBC faced investigation after keeping 100,000 of charity money. See, it's the corrupt BBC. Never give anything to these scumbags. BBC Children in Need has kept 87.7 million stashed away in its investment portfolio instead of giving it directly to charity, its latest accounts reveal. The charity, which has raised more than 600 million for youngsters in the UK since 1980, is preparing to launch a fresh appeal to viewers next week. But some donors may be surprised to discover it does not give the money directly to good causes. I'm not surprised at all. Any charity is a rip-off and a scam. Don't give to them. Give to men or women in the street rather than the scummy BBC. Scandal of big business cashing in on children in care. A senior counsel has launched a scathing attack on the government's austerity cuts, which he blamed for family breakdowns in Plymouth. Labour's John Taylor also accused big business of cashing in on the increasing number of children ending up in care by buying up social care providers. See, but why is there an increase in children ending up in care? Because the SS is stealing the children for the paedophiles, and then they put them up for grabs on the internet. This is a kid you can abuse, and this is where it comes from. Young offender. Your child can get 6 penalty points for riding a scooter even if they don't have a driving licence. Electric scooters are banned from being driven anywhere in the public as they don't have insurance, a number plate and an MOT certificate. What a crock of shit. This is more government craziness. Attacking kids on scooters for... ridiculous. But, as you can see, Saint Nicked. You could be slapped with an unlimited fine and penalty points for putting Christmas decorations on your car this festive season. Motorists who bring their festive spirit onto the road could risk breaching a number of road laws. Well, there are no road laws, they're rules. With Christmas rapidly approaching, Brits will soon dig out the decorations to speed up the season, spread the season spirit, but motorists who get carried away with festive celebrations in their car could find themselves in serious trouble. A further attack on motorists, and as if that wasn't enough for you, because you know that they are going after the motorists. Drivers beware. Police warning over fake speeding ticket scam that's seen Brits fork out hundreds of pounds on fraud to fraudsters. A motorist in Essex grew suspicious of an email that asked them to pay a fine after it said they were caught by a speed camera. Police have issued a warning to motorists over a fake speeding ticket scam amid fears fraudsters could have already raked in hundreds of pounds. Middle-age tax. Over 40s should pay hundreds more in national insurance to fund cost of their care in old age, says ex-minister. Mr. Green, who was caught with serious child pornography on his laptop and is still sitting in the house of corruption. He should be in jail. Was forced to resign late last year over claims of inappropriate behaviour and pornography on a Commons computer. Over 40 should foot the bill of for social care in old age with a hike in their national insurance. Ex-de facto Deputy PM Damien Green insisted yesterday. This piece of shit should be in jail, like I say. The former cabinet monster made a fresh bid for middle-aged workers to pay hundreds more in tax every year in a newspaper interview. What's bleeding? The Daily Fail. £10 off when you spend 40 at Lidl. Yeah. School with 17 children changing gender. School with 17 children changing gender. Whistleblower teacher makes shocking claim that most are autistic. My story by Lord guilty of offering a peerage for sex. Doesn't look like he could do it. Express. Let's put some parasites. Oh no, they've already done it. Harry's cash at risk from US taxman. He doesn't pay tax, don't lie. Tory rebels make their move. David Davis and Boris Johnson in secret talks to replace Prime Minister. Jacob Rees-Mogg would be made Chancellor in new Brexiteer cabinet. It's just distraction. The Star. It's back and the most terrifying yet. Oh shit. How to be happy. Yeah, I think I can manage that. Killer Kate doll scare. Toys off lethal for kids. For your kids. So, TV and a parasite. Why anyone buys that piece of shit is beyond me. The tell lie graph. The Prime Minister threatens to neutralise Brexit, disable our sovereignty and obliterate the Conservative Party. Plot to oust May nears tipping point as MPs rebellion grows. Anything but independent. It's time for Labour to be responsible. The making of a former First Lady. Stop the policing of women's clothes. Tech firms face a worrying trend. Global warming. Hundreds of climate change protesters block London Bridge. So they're just uninformed idiots, basically. They haven't got a clue what they're there for, as it's going to be blatantly obvious. Tory MPs warn hardliners they may abandon Brexit. Moderates say only option is closer EU ties in deal if deal is ditched. In other words, we're not leaving, which, you know, I've said all along right from the beginning. Mirror. Brexit, why it might never happen. Because it was never going to happen. They never planned for it to happen. They planned for it never to happen. In fact, I'm a Sleb is back. For my fears for Noel in jungle. Oh, crap. Prescription fee scandal. Hounded to death by the NHS. Daughters claim after pills debt, mum's suicide. It's a disgrace. Observer. Oh, Michael Obama and a British school, a special relationship. Yes, because he's a man. Brussels tells May more delay to Brexit will cost UK 10 billion. Well, how about we just repeal the 72 Act and it costs us, oh, nothing. But no, because we've got a bunch of treasonous bastards in Parliament. Longer transition would lead to new bill. PM faces critical week over EU deal. The ultras cannot explain what they expect to achieve by attempting to dethrone Mrs May. Now more than ever, we need our politicians to step up. Don't run scared of the populists who say a referendum would polarise the nation. Don't give up to the detriment of those who can least afford further economic pain. Now is the time for political bravery and a realistic vision of a workable, sustainable, unifying future for the country. The Brexit tragedy is not inevitable. Now is the time to give us, the people, a say. In other words, they want another referendum. But the problem with that, of course, is they've already had one and the vote was to leave. So if they have another one and the vote is to stay, well, we'll have to have another one then to then try and get back. But if they have another referendum, it proves referendums do not work. And it's treason. The Sunday Times. Stand up to Brussels bullies. Operation No Deal Army plans for troops on streets. Church schools challenge top fee paying preps. Mum loses faith in TV daughter's views.